Hi, my name is Gabriel. This is Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people reading the Bible together this year. We find ourselves in Genesis chapter 25, the very last verse, verse 34, and a story about lunch. And it's a story so much more than lunch. This is what the verse says. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went his way. Thus, Esau despised his birthright. So here, just to recap, here's the story, right? We have Abraham's son Isaac is the son of the promise. Abraham had other sons, but it is through Isaac that the blessings and the promises of Yahweh are going to be fulfilled. Isaac gets married to Rebekah right after Sarah dies, and after this, she's barren. She does not have any children. And he prays for his wife. Isaac prays for Rebekah. And the Lord hears his prayer, grants his request. She has two sons, twins. And it's amazing. So my wife is a twin. And though she obviously an identical twin, looks like her sister, they are in many ways the same. But in many more ways, they are different, right? And even more stuff like these differences are so pronounced between Jacob and Esau. So these two are struggling even in Rebekah's womb. And Rebekah cries, like, Lord, what is going on? And God tells her, hey, you have two people in your womb. Not just like literally persons, twins, but like these will be nations, right? And they're going to be conflict. And it's not going to go smoothly, right? It's going to be conflict between these brothers. And in fact, the younger will rule over the older, right? And this is what God said. And essentially he's saying that my promises, my blessing will flow through the younger one, through Jacob. And there's these stories, and even we learned that Rebekah loved Jacob, and Isaac loved Esau. And so some family conflict and tension even at play here. And one thing I love about the Bible is and this shows us the Bible is true, is you may think your family is messed up. You read through the book of Genesis, and this is a dysfunctional family. This family, though, one day Esau, who loved to hunt game, he was out, he'd been hunting in the fields, he comes home to the aroma of a nice warm lunch that Jacob is preparing, who's more of a homebody. And he's kind of like a teenager, like, I'm going to die. My kids say this all the time. I'm starving. Well, sweetie, you're not starving. There are people, and your daddy can take you to Ethiopia to some of his friends who they get one meal a day. They're happy. They're just so blessed, right? And you just want to snack on the way home from school, right? So many times we say this, right? I'm starving. Esau's not really about to die here. And yet, he holds in such disregard his birthright, in a sense like, to him, it's like, well, I was just born first barely by the luck of the draw, right? Yeah, you and I know that this is a picture of God's sovereignty, because Paul tells us this in Romans chapter 9. Is that I'm going through Jacob, not Esau. And this little kind of parenthetical statement, thus Esau despised his birthright. To me, it shows more about his lack of relationship with Yahweh, his lack of faith in Yahweh, his disregard for the promises of God. That God would make these promises to his grandfather, to his father, that he could have been, whatever. I would rather have a bowl of stew. He just doesn't care about the promises of God. And so we see this exchange. He despises birthright and essentially despises the promises of God and gives it up for a bowl of stew. And how much do we see this played out among people today? We don't care about the things of God. But let me just take these temporary things of this life. I'd rather have these than God. So watch out for that. Trust in the promises of God. Trust in the sovereignty of God. We know that He is always at work. And God's blessings on you today.